guys, we're going to be talking about Dad's book, and we're going to be doing a podcast about it. We're probably going to put this on Facebook, right?
Yep.
Something like that. Anyway, so we are going to exclude you and be talking to this microphone mainly.
Right.
And this is Dad's new book.
Trust is the new currency.
I will read it up to and including the introduction, basically.
Yes.
Awesome.
You feel alright, Ivan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Who would like to introduce the podcast
I can.
today? Alright, 64.
Yeah.
4. Not
Yeah.
3. 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Hi and welcome to episode 64 of Invest in You, and today we are going to be talking about Dad's new book. What is the name of the book?
Trust is the new currency.
Awesome. So the full title is actually Trust is the New Currency. How to build trust, attract the right partners and create wealth through business and investments. It's written by myself and Sheila Holt. What would I like to say in addition to that? Today, when you hear this podcast, or if you listen to it into the future, the book is already on Amazon all over the world. So feel free to check it out. There will be a link. And what do you say? Should we jump straight in?
Absolutely.
And read the first part?
I've barely read this. I've just skim read it, so this will be interesting.
Yeah. So if you do anything in any kind of business, if you allow other people to tell you that what you're doing is good, it's usually much better than to actually tell it to people yourself.
Yeah, so that is why we have got a little page about praise.
There we go.
So, Trust is the New Currency is a much needed book in this fast moving world. If every business learnt to create a profound sense of trust through everything they do, not only would they bottom line improve their opportunities, consciously creating trust is good for business, good for people and good for the world. Masami Sato, founder B1G1.
Jumping in there a bit off script, we can highly recommend B1G1. We have been working with them now for a few years. Really like the work of Paul Dunn. Back to you, Charlie.
Yeah, and we've got two more. So the second one. Trust is more important than ever. This book offers a model for entrepreneurs to create the foundations of trust faster and to enjoy the process. Sheila and Fredrik draw upon their long and varied experiences as entrepreneurs, and the lessons they've gained in building trust. This jargon-free book will give you practical wisdom for building stronger bonds and your business and brand. Daniel Priestley, CEO, Dent Global.
And you met Daniel, didn't you, Charlie?
Yeah, I met Daniel as well.
Great guy. I can highly recommend what Daniel is doing as well with Dent. So you check out Dent Global.
And another person I've met, here's a quote from him. A fantastic, straightforward and honest book. It highlights the importance of having a higher purpose, or as the authors call it, the big why, which as entrepreneurs can use as rocket fuel for the greater good. That was from Mike Frisbee, multiple property business owner.
I really like Mike because he has been in property longer than I have in the UK.
Yeah.
He was one of the people I looked up to when I did my own mastermind, and it's great to be a peer of Mike nowadays. So thank you, Mike.
Yeah. And I bet that he would read his own words a bit better than I did.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is it you, Ivan?
It's you still, Charlie.
Okay. There even more quotes. Awesome. I love the concept of this book, and I agree that trust is the new currency. This book has been well thought out and presented in an easy to understand format, which will help you to build an effective core team. All entrepreneurs can use high-level information here to introduce trust and keep it flowing within their business. It's great to see Sheila and Fredrik collaborate in this way. Highly recommended. Simon Suchi, author of bestseller Property Magic and founder of Property Investors Network.
And he even know how to write a book. He's got 10 editions and versions of the same book. He knows what he's doing. Next one.
Trust is the new currency. Can't put it any better myself. In the modern world of business, the internet and any social media, trust is one of the most important yet overlooked tools. But applying the principles that the authors detail in this book within your business, communication and relationships will improve. You'll be able to manage projects better and will find it easier to get the results you want. By Rob Wilkinson, co-founder of Crowd with Us.
Only extra comment there. It's the internet link is www.crowdwithus.london. Thanks, Rob.
Awesome. Another one. 3 new models explained simply and with clarity. The trust triangle, the business engine, and the investment triangle are bound to help any entrepreneur on their journey to success. Apply them in your business. Andrew Eggleton, presenting mentor, and I actually helped design these photographs for the trust triangle and all of these things, so that's just fun fact.
Awesome. And here is to everyone who's listening. With gratitude to everyone we've worked with over the years who have made us into who we are today, and to my family, Harriet, Ivan and Charlie Sandvall. So we jump straight into the foreword, which is written by Daniel Priestley. Here we go, Ivan.
Woohoo! Success and failure are both very predictable. In today's market, where small businesses are starved of finance, large businesses are falling like dominoes, and the high street banks will only lend to you if you can prove you don't need the money. Have you ever stopped to question how the market-leading entrepreneurs of today are breaking away from the pack, have access to more capital than they know what to do with, and are using the unique opportunities available at this time to thrive? Success and failure are both very predictable, and through reading this book you will gain insight into the models and methods used by some of the world's leading entrepreneurs as they observe the masses and do the opposite. I've been an entrepreneur all my life, and having met, trained, partnered and worked with thousands of professionals from around the world, I can say that the authors of this book are two I highly recommend and trust to write authoritatively on this topic, and whom I hold in high personal regard. I first met Sheila and Fredrik at one of our property entrepreneur training events back in 2014. Clients from around the world come to these events to learn about the core competencies, and fundamentals required in starting, systemizing and scaling businesses in today's market. 3 of those elements that need to be mastered are profile, finance and team. And once I had spent time with Sheila and Fredrik independently, I provided a connection, as I felt that collaboratively they could combine these to become a force to be reckoned with. The rest is history. Business and investments are a lifelong craft to be mastered, and if you follow the teachings of this book, whilst you will not get rich quickly, I can assure you that you will get wealthy well. Success in this space is highly strategic, and over the coming pages and chapters you will gain the required insight into the true value that is now placed on people over paperwork in the world of business and finance today, as well as how to magnetize your business and your position to capitalize on this. Internally, you need to attract talent, and through reading this book, you will learn the power of mastering profiles, looking for complementary skill sets, and, such like Sheila and Fredrik, the art of building the dream team. The reality is, none of this happens overnight, but my advice is for you to take the decades of wisdom and expertise shared within this book, to grab the quick wins, adopt the philosophies, introduce the methods and models, and then play the long game. Success and failure are both very predictable. If you can use the direction provided over the 16 chapters of this book to master what you do, when to do it, and who to do it with, you will break away from the pack as you build trust, attract the right partners and create wealth through business and investments. It's all a game. Enjoy the journey. Daniel Hill, Chairman at PPN UK, Entrepreneur of the Year 2018, www.ppn.co.uk.
Thanks, Ivan.
Thank you.
Awesome. So that was from Dan Hill.
And we highly respect and regard.
And that was the foreword. So now comes the introduction. These are incredible in entrepreneurial times. The number of opportunities available and the speed of technology, as well as innovation, potential support and access to money, are just some of the reasons why these times are so amazing. There is a new currency, trust, and this book will help you understand that trust is invaluable in your business and in your personal growth. You will get insights about how to build trust, attract the right partners, and create wealth through business and investments. There is more money available than ever before, and you'll see clearly that money follows trust. Very few business books have been written about building trust. When trust is talked about, usually in the context of how to use it and the value of that trust. This book is about how to build trust from scratch rather than repair trust after it has been broken. We are part of an emerging economy in which entrepreneurs create new ways to find money. The core of this new economy is trust. Increasingly, businesses and entrepreneurs are more aware of their relationships with funders, backers, sponsors, and investors. We are openly talking about building trusted relationships. Businesses today use innovative ways to obtain the funding they require for growth and expansion. The world has moved on from the information age to the relationship age, in which businesses are building more transparent and open connections between themselves and their customers. Entrepreneurs are making stronger efforts when it comes to building and relating to their tribes and communities. Trust is central to the way we operate in our own businesses. We spend time building lifelong relationships. Trust is about facing and serving your customers and is a feeling and an experience rather than a rational checklist. Trust is precious and it is something money cannot buy. However, money does follow trust. Trust is your ultimate tool to gain more customers, more choice, more wealth, and with that, more freedom.
What you'll discover in this book. This book is divided into 3 parts. For each part, we have developed a model depicted by a graphic to visually represent its key element. Part 1. The foundations of trust. This part covers how to reach total trust, which is at the heart of our model. It includes how to establish trust more quickly and using your gut instinct to support your decisions. Create trust and place it at the heart of your business relationships. Build total trust through the 3 cornerstones: tune in, third party, and time. Understand that money follows trust. There is a picture here of the trust triangle,
Which I have made.
which Charlie's made the design of.
Part 2. Building the business engine. This part covers the key roles in the business engine. Know what the 3 roles in any business engine are: trailblazer, dealmaker, and specialist, and each is supported by doers. Understand where you fit in your own business engine and who else you need to add. Understand how each of these key roles works independently and interdependently to contribute to and scale your business. And here we've got another lovely trust triangle diagram-ish thing called the business engine.
Okay. Part 3. Partnering to create wealth through business and investments. This part brings it all together. The powerful combination of purpose, people, and project will give you the results you desire. Find your purpose, your big why, which is greater than your business. Understand how each component in the investment triangle plays a vital role in the development of any business and the creation of wealth. Discover that when you're doing things right, you can reach peak performance. And here is a picture of the investment triangle.
Awesome. We're going to read to this page, right?
Yep.
Okay. The shape of each of our models in is triangular because the triangle is the strongest structure of all. A triangle is impossible to collapse. As a result, it forms the basis of many structures, from bridges to roofs, buildings, and pyramids. When you have 3 legs to stand on, you are sturdy, solid, and balanced. Triangular shapes don't stand alone, proud and complete. they can tessellate and create other solid, sturdy shapes with no spaces and gaps in between, no weaknesses. The trust triangle, the business engine, and the investment triangle are standalone models. Each can be used in total isolation and will work well as a complete independent model. The models can also be used sequentially in the order we introduce them in the book, or currently in any order. That was a bit hard to read. No matter how you use the models, they'll work. Our experiences with people, both in business and through coaching, have led us to create and develop these 3 models, which we continue to grow our own businesses. You have to take over here, Ivan. You're a bit better than me at reading.
Where?
The right page, please.
Why have you, as an entrepreneur, picked up this book? It could be any number of reasons. 1. You want to develop a fresh approach to business. 2. You want to learn how to build relationships in your existing or new business founded on trust. 3. You're curious on how to use the trust as currency to attract the right business partners. 4. You've built a successful business and are now looking for new alliances and investments to create wealth. 5. Someone you trust recommended this book. Whatever has attracted you to our book, trust your instincts and enjoy. Why we've written this book. Fredrik is the deal maker in Sapphire Lending, Sheila's business, and is therefore a key member of Sheila's business engine. We can both operate from a basis of trust. Each of us has a range of business experiences and a mountain of people and relationship knowledge. We're both entrepreneurs. Fredrik is passionate about educating others and helping them grow, while Sheila is passionate about relationships and how people think. Sheila has her own unique, disruptive way of thinking and doing things. We're both outliers. In other words, our ideas and actions sit outside the bell curve.
We thought it would be fun and challenging to share ideas and add our thoughts into the world, especially those on the topic close to our hearts, relationships built on trust, which underpins how we built our individual businesses. We offer something fresh, new, and maybe even a little bit thought-provoking about trust and its central position in the world of businesses today. We both know that money follows trust, and that trust can be used in a positive way to create wealth. To learn more about us and our experience, see the authors section at the back of the book. And here comes part 1.
Alright, so we have now covered the introduction of the book. For people tuning into this podcast who's got no idea who I am, the person who's speaking, would you mind to read about the author page, please?
Yes, the author page. Let's start with my dad, Fredrik Sandvall. He's sitting right next to me to the left. Throughout his life...
Right to the left? That's confusing.
Are you serious? Throughout his life and career, Fredrik has focused on people and creating growth. His I'm not
Curiosity.
good enough. Yeah, I can read, but I can't read at the same time. So
Okay, Charlie. Fredrik Sandvall, my dad, as well. Throughout his life and career, Fredrik has focused on people and creating growth. His curiosity and competitiveness led him to become an officer in the Special Forces of the Swedish Marines. This role took him to many different parts of the world, helping others with tasks ranging from fighting organized crime to participating in diplomatic negotiations and working in war zones. He went on to graduate with an MBA from Lancaster University and used this to transition into consulting. His customers range from incubator startups to some of the largest companies in the world. I know that Dad has, for example, told me that he's worked with Google. Fredrik is the managing director of Global Sales Consulting. In his role, he is a trusted advisor to entrepreneurs and business owners, helping them raise capital and win large deals. He's also a partner in Sandvall Invest, a family investment company which he runs with his brother. The company delivers excellent returns on cash and pension funds via ethical, safe and sound property investments. Fredrik has involved his 2 sons, Ivan and Charlie, me and my little brother here, in
Please carry on.
Okay. In global sales consulting and the process of learning to become entrepreneurs. Together, they interview business leaders in the podcasts Invest in You and Investing Skills.
Awesome.
And I want to add something there. He's also a great dad.
Thanks, Charlie. So we have just been reading tiny parts of the book, which is called Trust is New Currency, which is available on Amazon. So you can just search there for the name, or even easy, because our surname is so unique, you can just search for Trust Sandvall. How does that sound? Trust Sandvall. I like that.
Very good.
So if you search for Trust Sandvall, you'll find the book. And we really hope that if you buy the book, you take some learnings away from it and act on it. That's really my goal with writing this book in the first
place. And while you're at it, just clicking on a 5-star on the book is always good. And same thing on this podcast, 5-star review. You know the deal if you watch this podcast before.
Exactly. Right, so we also welcome, as we've said before, questions to us, questions to our guests. And we have a few interested people. I've got so many people who said yes to be on the podcast.
We just have to plan in a date and do it.
Exactly. To mention a few, Daniel Priestley has said yes. We just name dropped here who said yes. Paul Dunn has said yes earlier. We have Grant Cardone's video guy for the first years. He said yes. We got Jay, a LinkedIn guru from the US. He has said yes. And probably another 30 plus names.
Yes.
And also, if you think that you would be a fantastic guest for this podcast, reach out to us. You have to sell yourself, obviously, to us and pitch. Perfect. We also got a best-selling New York Times author, Mr. Woods from America. He will probably also be up very soon. So with that said, Ivan, we are super happy that you could join us today, because we are actually in the same country, the same room, for a change.
Yeah. And before we say goodbye, I would like to nominate myself to the best reading skills.
Alright, awesome. Ivan, any last thoughts? What do you think about just starting to read the book? You've never read it before. First thoughts?
I think it's pretty well written so far and interesting, and I want to read more.
Alright.
I know it was. I would love to read more, except the introduction show. If you didn't know, this was just the introduction and stuff like that. So the key learnings come late in the book, just where we stopped reading. So if you want to read more, then maybe get the book or something like that.
Should we share a crazy story from the book?
Sure.
Or should we cut for today?
No, go ahead.
Alright, let's give me a second to find a crazy story from... should we go for military?
Yeah.
Military
and this book just cost like £13 or something, so it's awesome.
A massive investment, so you probably can't afford it. I'm really sorry. Right, what should we pick? Come back to the reason why. I think about the military story, that would be more fun. Just give me a second to find one. Why to follow an order? There. Why disobey an order? How does that sound? Do you think that officers in military usually disobey an order?
No.
Let's give you an example of exactly that, when that happened. Who would like to read?
I would like to read.
It's 1.5 page. Starts right here.
This is a management lesson that Fredrik encountered during his military career. Why disobey a military order? This is a management lesson that Fredrik encountered during his military career in the 1990s. If you work in a military organization, one of the first things you tend to realize is that you're in a position of authority. You've got hundreds of years of history and strict hierarchy to back you up. If you give an order, you expect it to be obeyed. In Sweden, Fredrik's homeland, however, the military operates slightly differently from the rest of the militaries in the world, as that's the result of one soldier asking why. Normally, the soldiers questioning an order in this way would have been viewed as a gross read that. Read it.
It's a big disobedience.
Yeah, of duty on a grand scale and punishable. However, in this case, his question made sense. The order wasn't rational. He wanted to understand why he had been asked to follow it. This questioning of orders became such common practice within the generation of soldiers growing up in the system that the framework of how to give an order changed across the whole army. Now, when the order is given, the reason why is being given must be included. So you have to basically say, we're doing this because blah blah blah. Am I right?
Yeah, so basically the commander's intent, and really to avoid stupid orders, really.
Yeah. Throughout history, numerous crazy orders have been executed without any kind of sense of check. If certain orders have been questioned, many tragedies would have been avoided. One why, by a single soldier has led to thousands of people learning a new way to give orders with intention or purpose. Now, consider this example in terms of delegation. Understanding why you are carrying out a task or action in a project, or asking someone else to, is key. In asking yourself why, you might have come up with a much better solution or encouraged dialogue about the purpose of the task. The why, the purpose, is a gateway to greater cooperation for all involved in a business or project. Today, millennials, you have to carry on that.
Today, millennials, the aptly titled Generation Y, are searching for the reason why more than any other generation. As entrepreneurs, we can all aim to use business as a force for good in the world. Purpose in our investment triangle is about clarifying why you are running your business and what is your higher purpose. Freedom of choice is a strong motivator. In our joint experiences in the investment and entrepreneurship areas, we have seen people progressing from getting out of debt to supplementing their income, replacing their income, buying back time, and then moving to a purpose that's far greater than themselves. A purpose that's strong, unselfish and grand will attract resources of all kinds to your cause. Alright, so that's it for the book. My greater reason is really to help as many people as possible to become financially free for life. And that does, of course, include also you, Ivan, and you, Charlie.
Yeah.
Not Mr. Darcy.
Not our dog, basically,
Yeah.
because he's a dog and he doesn't even understand what money is.
Exactly. So, thank you very much for listening into the podcast Invest in You. And until next time.
Goodbye.
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 5-star review.
And Facebook, how are you guys doing?
Now you get some attention as well. Thank you for listening in on our podcast Invest in You. Please check it out. We've got loads of other cool episodes. So I see what you're doing. Goodbye.
Bye.